Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to have a conversation with you guys, but really a two-way conversation, because if you have any advice on this subject, I would love to hear it. I'm all for advice right now, and I think that that's kind of the problem with growing up in a hearing world, in a normal world, and not being surrounded by a ton of people who were like me. Like, I didn't have any exposure really to other deaf and hard of hearing kids unless I put myself in a situation like a camp or a conference or something like that where I would be exposed. And so I think that that's really been hard to not have a ton of exposure and a ton of access to asking questions. So it would be really nice if you had any advice for me or any questions for me. So today I'm going to be talking about my recent audiology appointment and kind of what happened, and I guess the main topic is cochlear implants. So I went to my audiologist and we had a hearing test, and everything honestly is super stable. And I guess my old and my new audiologist now have been kind of pushing me towards getting cochlear implants. I've always kind of been like, no, I don't need them. No, I don't need cochlears. I'm fine with hearing aids. But you know, as I'm getting older, and I'm not that old, I just turned 22, but as I'm getting older and moving on to different phases of life, I have just noticed how much of an effort it is for me to feel like I belong and just know what's going on in the room because of my hearing loss. I know that when I go into a party or a large situation like a bar or a club or anything like that, I'm not going to be able to hear anything, and that sucks. I was always kind of okay with it. I worked up to the point of getting myself okay with just missing what's going on in the situation, and I think that that is really important. But sometimes I just sit there and I think, if I could just get cochlears, then I would be able to hear. Like, that's crazy. Like, why wouldn't I do that? So anyway, the consensus of my audiologist appointment was that I'm doing fine, but I'm really working hard to understand what's going on and to function as highly as I do, which is also kind of why I'm tired all the time, because I have to work so hard, and that I should think about getting cochlears. And I don't have to get them, but they would definitely make my life easier. Now, backtrack a little bit, I did go in to have a test to see if I qualified to get cochlears around a year and a half ago, and I did not qualify. Now, that test said that I would have to score less than 60% with my hearing aids on. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, where you had to get 60% or more wrong in your hearing test to qualify for cochlear, and I just didn't, and I still don't. And the reason for that is because I'm really good at context clues. So even though like they would play a conversation in a loud restaurant and I wouldn't actually get every single thing that was being said, my context clues were really strong. And my audiologist told me that a lot had changed with cochlear tests, and that I probably would actually qualify now. So now I'm like sitting here and I've just been thinking to myself for the past couple of days, ever since the appointment, and thinking like, is this something that I want to pursue? I think for a lot of people it would be a straight shot, like, okay, let's do this, but I am having a lot of things to think about. Like, for example, I do get MRIs a lot, and I know that there are some cochlears that are MRI compatible, but there's always a shadow that shows up on the scan. So that's something that I have to think about, and think about, is that even like worth it, especially if I am so high functioning. And that leads me to my next point. If I'm so high functioning the way that I am, then why would I go through another surgery and work on adapting to the sound around me? Like, that's a lot to go through. So why would I go through that right now in such a pivotal stage of my life? Also, I don't know what it's gonna be like to be completely deaf. If I went ahead and got the surgery to do cochlear implants any little hearing that I have would be completely taken away. I know my audiologist talked a little bit about hearing preservation surgery, which I don't know really a lot about that. I have to look into that, but it is really scary to me, and I really cannot function without my hearing aids at all. So a lot of people would be like, why did that even matter? But it's so scary to think about waking up and not being able to hear anything at all without your cochlear on. It's just like crazy. I can't think about that. Like, it really scares me. Like, oh my god, I have nightmares about it. So I don't know if you have cochlear, how is that? If you got cochlear later in life, how was that? I'm very curious to know and to see, because it's really, like, honestly, it's really scary to me to think about going through that. Also, I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to adapt to the noises and like have my brain function properly with it, which I know that it probably would, but on the off chance that like my brain's screwed up forever, like, I don't know, I'm just scared. I'm scared about that. So that's everything that's going on in my head right now. I don't know if I'm going to get them. I probably honestly will not anytime soon, like within the next 3 years, but I probably will end up getting them within the next like 20 to 30 years, because I think that as I get older my hearing's probably gonna get worse, and it's stayed stable for the last like 5-ish years now, so it's probably gonna be fine. But I'm probably gonna end up getting cochlear down the road. I just don't know if I'm gonna get them now, just because I'm doing fine the way that I am, and I like, the only thing that I'm curious about is that I feel like I could do better with them, but I don't know. That I just crazy. It's the first time I've really like talked it through out loud, because I don't have like a lot of friends who have cochlears or hearing aids. Like, I can only honestly think of one that I'm really close with, so it's hard. So do you have any advice, let me know. I would love to hear it. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed now. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.